What T-shirt are you wearing?
I just broke out a Martin. Well, let me move the hair out.
You want to explain to people why TJ would break out a Martin T-shirt?
That right there that was my break into Hollywood. That was the first show that I ever worked on. I have to give a shout out. The showrunner on that show, one of the greatest guys, and I will say very sadly, he passed this year, John Bowman. People talk about being progressive in Hollywood. I will say there's a lot of lip service to being progressive in Hollywood. It annoys me sometimes. John Bowman, he walked the walk. And he gave me not just an opportunity, he gave me a lot of opportunities. He was a great, great man. And not only did he give me an opportunity to work, he introduced me to my wife, which is the reason I get to say I got to sit in Andy Reid's house.
So you met your wife on Martin.
I met my wife on the Martin show. And let me tell you something. I was the geek. I was the guy, standing in the corner. My wife, who you met, you may not remember, one of the most handsome, sweetest individuals in the world. I'm on the show. She decides she wants to like me. I mean, go figure. Go figure. But yeah, wearing that shirt, that's my entire life. The interesting thing between your shirt there and that there, that's the complete continuum
from Martin to this very moment.
From Martin to that moment. This is like a mini doc on John Ridley.
Look at that.
Maybe slice this up and
it's like a 3 for 3. Like we don't have a 30 minutes, but you got a good Martin story. What do you got for me? Well, I mean, because again, a lot of what you've done is very serious. I mean, you have some very serious credits and about some very serious subjects.
Yes.
So you were a comedy writer at the very beginning?
Yes.
You were writing...
I was a comedy writer. I was actually a stand-up comedian for a little bit.
Damn, John.
Here's my one thing that's going to bring it all together.
Let's bring it all together.
On the Martin show, one of the first scripts I wrote, I got to write a joke. There was an athlete. Do you remember a guy, Randall Cunningham?
Oh,
do you remember him? He guested on the show.
Okay.
And it was a show it was an episode that I was writing, and in the secret in Hollywood, and especially in comedies, there are a lot of writers in the room, but your name goes on it. But I got to write a joke for Randall Cunningham.
Do you remember what it was?
Something about he was coming in, he was entering a party that Martin was having, and there was something about him moving. He was like, "Oh, Randall Cunningham, he moves great," but he couldn't dance. Or he was bumping into furniture when he was dancing or something. So the guy was at that time, one of the great mobile quarterbacks. Probably began that era. Of truly great.
Jalen Hurts is just only carrying the mantle that he first started.
Yes. So to write a joke for and people turn into you, go, "Oh, you got to write a joke for Randall Cunningham." At that time, I think that predated. So my introduction to really football was, the Brett Favre era. So that was the late '90s. I was writing on the Martin show in the early 90s. So at that time, I didn't really know football. So they turned to me, "You got to write a joke for Randall Cunningham." I'm going to get on that. They didn't have Google back then. So I'm like, Randall Cunningham, Randall, he would be, anybody hear this? Like I said, I was a geek. So fortunately, my wife.
She filled in for, God bless her.
Do you know who Randall Cunningham is? Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh!
I'm feeling the.
What was the name of the episode? Can you look that up? What do you think?
I just remember there was a party and Randall was
talking. was in it.
Randall was talking to Jerome.
Yes.
Because Rome came up and he asked Randall a question, which I can't remember, but I do remember that.
Snoop was in the episode as well.
Yeah, it was a party at Pam's house. I remember that.
That's a hell of a party. Oh well. Don't mess with him. Don't mess with him. So, seriously.
I know Martin.
You know a lot more than that.
The episode was called No Love Lost from 1994.
There you go.
1994. Is that the right? Is that the episode 1994? I was in the business in 94. Good Lord.
No Love Lost. It aired May 1st, 1994.
There you go. So you must have written
season
it maybe late 93. Season 2 of Martin.
That was the season I was on. Yeah. Most definitely. Season 2, 94. That's when things were kicking off. That young man thinking that there was something waiting for him.
So the one line here, description at IMDb, Martin and Gina are so busy arguing that they miss Pam's engagement party for them.
And wildness ensues by John Ridley.
And when you're in television too, it's sort of, that's your pitch. Like, you got to do a party thing and make some wildness ensue. Okay, I guess I'll go right there.
Snoop Dogg was on it. Yeah. And John Grease from that we just saw on White Lotus.
How about that?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, because he's Sean.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.